Hi, Anthony and Sarah. I know cycling is as much a mental game as a physical one, but I feel like my brain gives up before my legs do. The moment things start to hurt, there is a voice in my head telling me to sit up, back off, or that I just don't have it today. I want to get better at embracing the suffering and pushing through when it really matters, whether it's in a race, on a brutal climb, or just trying to hold the wheel when the pace kicks up. How do you actually train mental toughness? Are there any tricks or techniques to stop that voice in my head from convincing me to quit? Again, every week we have a question like this that could have been written in by me, for me, because this is something that I struggle with, Anthony, and you're like trying to coach me through this, pushing through that pain barrier and actually trusting in my ability, the strength that I have, how far that I've trained, and not getting freaked out by, oh my God, my heart rate monitor says 185. I definitely can't do this anymore. It's too tough, even though I probably can't hang in there a little bit
There's only
longer.
one way to do it. Watch a load of David Goggins videos before you go out. Who's going to carry the boats?
I follow him on Twitter, and
he doesn't post, does he?
no, it's all other people. People have
tribute account.
Yeah, put loads of kind of clips together of him, and yeah, it's that tough love. I think I do actually really respond to that kind of tough love, and somebody kind of calling me out on being weak-minded personally. Now, a lot of people won't be into that, will they? Yeah, they won't be into that.
I think some practical ways you can do it are to focus on your breathing. It sounds like quite simplistic, but when the pain starts to creep in, that's normally associated by the negative voice saying, you know, you're not enough, you're an imposter. And one of the quickest ways to regain control on that is to focus on your breathing, like deep, controlled, rhythmic breathing. That can reset the mind and it can bring you back to the present moment. Like if you breathe deeply through your nose, fill your lungs slowly, it not only reduces stress, but your body's going to stay oxygenated and it's going to keep you present and in the zone a little bit longer. I also find, and this, I'm not sure if this is science-backed, very anecdotal from me, if I divide the effort and I segment it, rather than looking at it like I'd look at it in a race. I was racing out in France and I knew there was like a 6-7 kilometers of crosswind. I'd be like, well, that's quite an unmanageable section for me to get through. But I'd look at it and go, okay, just get through the next kilometer and then we'll assess. And then you're like, okay, I can do one more K. I can do one more K. I'll get through that. And then like one more K. So it's only like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Break it down into smaller efforts. Like we talked about, we did a video a few weeks ago about perfect 7-day training plan. We talked about 20-minute tests during that, and I'm saying the same, like 5-minute sections. Like you can give me 5 minutes of your best. That really works. The voice in your head and how you speak to yourself does matter as well. Like positive self-talk, it's like, you know, you need to train, obviously. You know, there's no amount of standing, looking in the mirror saying, I am a champion, I am a champion, I am a champion is going to make you a champion. You need to go out and you need to establish habits. You need to have discipline. That discipline and those habits lead to progress, and then you can be proud of that progress and slowly change that voice from a negative voice to a positive voice. But in those moments when you are defaulting back to a negative voice, I think it is important to have almost like a little mantra, like I'm stronger than this, or I can handle this pain, or this is what the sacrifices were for. Some little mantra like that you repeat a couple of times just to snap yourself out of it and bring you back to the present moment and think, no, I have prepared for this.
I totally fall into that. I can't, you know, I'm coming apart. Like the other day we were coming back from the group spin. There's a segment in the group ride that everyone races, and Anthony wasn't racing, but he was trying to bring me around at speed on his wheel. And every kind of couple hundred meters I was saying to him, I can't, like I'm gone, I'm done. And Anthony, when we got home, was like, Sarah, the fact that you could even say out loud, I can't, I'm done, meant that you had more energy. You could have hung on for at least another 10 seconds. The other thing that you always say to me that I try and do now as well, a few things. One is, it's not going to be this painful forever. Like, so not relax into the pain, but know that this is going to end. Like if you're in a really hard segment of your group ride or your race, it's probably going to last 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes. Like, know that it's going to end and that you are going to have a little bit of recovery time. And then again, kind of going back to what you were saying, Anthony, even when I'm doing my efforts, my VO2 max efforts on the indoor trainer, and I get off and I'm saying to you, oh, I got my heart rate up to 181 this week. Last week I was only at like 179. And it's just incrementally trusting myself that I can push it farther and farther and having that confidence. And I think that's exactly what you said. That comes from the training as well. So,
but also I remember a team time trial. And so team time trial, it was a 5-man team time trial at the time. And if somebody, okay, not to make this too boring, but the front of the team time trial, person 1 is who brings the entire line forward. You're only going as fast as person 1. Person 2, 3, 4, 5 are all in the shelter of person 1. But if person 2, who's in the shelter, pulls out of the line, now person 3 has to use energy to close the gap that's opened, which isn't bringing the group forward because person 1 is still propelling the group forward. So I was doing a team time trial and person 2 pulled out of the line because we're all dying. Everyone's dying. Yeah. Team time trial is the worst thing you'll ever do. Person 2 pulled out of the line. And afterwards, the experienced rider in the group absolutely went through him for pulling out of the line. He's like, you think we're not all hurting? He's like, if you pull out of the line in person 2, you better be having a cardiac arrest. You better be dead. Like, you better be puking on the side of the road.
Yeah, calling
Done.
an ambulance.
Can't move if you pull out in person 2. Do your turn and pull out on person 5. Roadmen, I'm going to date myself here, but I've been riding the bike for almost 20 years. And in that time, I've cycled through every cycling apparel brand out there. And I kept swapping out different apparel brands each season until I found LeCol. There's something really different about LeCol. And as soon as you slip into the gear, you notice it feels different. It feels better. I've had the pleasure of chatting with Yanto Barker on the podcast. He's the LeCol founder. And his dedication to crafting the fastest, most refined cycling apparel out there, it's nothing short of inspiring. Yanto isn't just trying to create gear. I get the feeling he's actively and obsessively trying to perfect cycling gear. Trust me, as soon as you slip on the LeCol kit, as soon as you zip up that jersey, you can feel that commitment. The proof for LeCol, it's in the pudding. This is the same kit that Jay Hindley wore when he clinched overall victory in the Giro d'Italia. There's a confidence that comes with wearing apparel that's been battle tested and podium proven in races like the Giro d'Italia. Trust me, feeling good on the bike means you're going to perform better. If you have a second, I highly advise you to jump on over to lecol.cc and check out their amazing range of kit and experience this feeling for yourself.